Welcome back to a rival series. It's the B stream, and we're still here. Jar of Jam, the Eternal J, and Digital Bacon. We just saw ARG do a quick one on their opposition, and Baguette Squad looked absolutely hapless on the field. Are we hoping for a little bit more of a battle in our upcoming series? Underwater Squad versus Team Vertex. Team both currently sitting at the bottom of the table, or very close to it, 9th and 8th respectively. And Team Vertex on the up and up. Underwater Squad still played less games than their opposition, but still with a solid chance to get somewhere. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so definitely, we picked this up because I think when we went to break, you were like, oh, it's both two low teams trying to scrap it out. And I went straight away, like, you got to think, Underwater Squad have only played 4 games so far compared to Vertex's 6. So Underwater Squad are in a better situation. Underwater Squad, their 3 losses are to 3 of the top 4 teams. So by all means, Underwater Squads have had the bad hand dealt to them early on. They'll be going up against both Vertex and Baguette Squad today. Baguette Squad not looking hot. If they can get the win against Vertex, they'll be 3 for 3 and joining both ARG and Baguette Squad up on that 3-win scenario. And then next week, of course, they'll go up against RCD Espanol, ARG, and in the last week, they'll then have Discombobulated. So a hard one to finish it off, but still, season is not over. Underwater Squad, if they play their cards right, could even sneak maybe even the 4th spot away. But I think 5th, 6th is very reasonable for this side at the moment.
Yeah, I'll agree with Bacon on this one, actually. I feel like there's still a lot of potential to be unlocked in the Underwater Squad. They've obviously got some really talented players. I know that Bilbo's been a represented striker and one that's been highly praised during his time over the course of time. Lorty as well as another one who's been a bit quiet in recent months, but certainly has been one of the guys that the Underwater Squad could certainly build around. But Ocelot as well is such a good talent and everything. Underwater Squad, I feel like because obviously they were a last-second team that come together and just casually just sort of ran forward and somehow made it to the rival series. I feel like there's a lot of potential for them to go even further forward than this just because of the talent they have in that roster.
There's the possibilities are still there for Underwater Squad. There's no question about that one. But with Team Vertex on the up and up, trying to perform something that might be impossible, especially knowing the caliber of teams that they still have to play against. They've shown a lot of promise in their series against Method on Friday. Could be down to the Method side not really respecting their opposition or not bringing their A game to that day, but they were playing too obvious seemingly to me. And with Coca being a solid, just a post in the defense, Team Vertex did seemingly punch way above their weight, but they did get that 3-0 sweep and now looking to take down yet another opponent. It seems like I'm the only one proponent here for Team Vertex, though. Guys, are you feeling like Underwater Squad may take it, or is Team Vertex snowballs?
For me, it's always Underwater Squad. I've been back in Bilbo since Christ knows, Jay, probably like a year and a half now. I can't stop that here. And looking at these two teams, it always feels like Vertex has, I don't want to say got lucky, but against Method, yes, it was Method on a bad day. Their win against Flomp-Razont was Flomp-Razont on a really bad day. Underwater Squad, of course, I haven't seen them, but just on paper from these players' track history, it should be Underwater Squad taking it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree on that one. I'm certainly all aboard the Underwater Squad hype train. I believe that they're probably going to be the victors of this series. Vertex, they have got a couple of good victories, but as Bacon said, I'd say that the teams that they were playing against looked a little bit subpar on their days, but in HD, that they played against them. So I'm looking for an Underwater Squad victory. You know, I think that's probably where we stand.
Well, there's only one way to find it out. Put both teams on a field and let them play. So, folks, take it away to the second series of the day.
Thanks a bunch, Jam. Yes, we have the boys in blue. It will be Underwater Squad appropriately in their side. And Vertex over in the orange half of the field. Going to try and see if they can prove us wrong for the second time today. But already look at Bilbo going off that crossbar, off the back of that kickoff to get things started on the offensive play here for the Underwater Squad. It's Bilbo in the back line, already rotating back to the backfield, trying to see if he can beat out Dumain. Lorty going to leave that ball as it bounces over, beaten out by Coco all the same. Ocelot goes up, pass back into the box. Actually, there's a shot on target that Vertex has got to take away. With Bilbo coming forward. It's Dumain and Coco playing off towards that box. Going to try and find a way out the right-hand side of the field. It is going to get cleared eventually, but Bilbo quick to respond alongside Ocelot here, trying to receive a pass.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lads from Underwater Squad at the moment, Jay, and they're focusing really heavily on their rotations. Ocelot, though, not pre-active on that one. It was a hard ball to be set up by Lorty. But Underwater Squad coming out of the gates, really running. This is now the first chance that the lads from Vertex will get to get the ball downfield, and they just hand it on over.
And ridiculous pressure being posted up by the Underwater Squad. Vertex here inside that blue half will try to get a couple of decent chances going here, but the 50-50 challenges will just take away any of the shots that they have on the net. Now Bilbo here with a breakaway. No boost available to his name. A bit of a shade thrown over to the Baguette squad from earlier today. Oslon gets beaten out by Rizex. Bilbo takes that over to the corner. Sideboard play. Second touch going to be received by Domain though. Rizex also there to receive. Good plays out towards that corner. Again, booming clears coming in from both sides. And Vertex starting to get a bit of pressure spooling up on the opposite half of the field. But the clears are also there for the Underwater Squad. So now you get it right back into that orange half. Pass infield, miss from two players. Lorty on the other side to try and receive it. Oslon there to put it past the post as the pass is received and the first is scored.
I was really, like, Oslon hits a little bit too far. Bilbo then moves on back, but Oslon to stay downfield, Jay, not rotate out. You could see the call was definitely there. They saw the gap in the defense. They saw the opportunity, and they struck. 3 minutes 12 remain, and Underwater Squad up 1-0.
They're going to play keepaways here with a big miss from Coca. Rizex, however, with a dribble up, beaten out by Bilbo at the first hurdle. Domain back over to Coca, plays it up towards him. Good challenge again, goes to that backboard. Going to try and bump players out of the way, but Lorty will still be able to hold his own here as Domain gets beaten out by Oslon. And a lot of these challenges towards that midfield, a lot of the momentum blockers coming out,
Oslon
really working pretty well.
Oslon just charging through the 50-50s there, not letting anyone stop him. And Underwater Squad have been great with that all season long, essentially where they just want to dictate on those 50-50s where they go, and it's an effective way to safely gain ground.
Oslon boom back over to the box. Backboard play taken away by Domain. That's to the centre field where Lorty and Bilbo have to be forced back on the rotations because Rizex has his own control. Oslon with a bit of a dangerous challenge, but manages to outbeat him. Good pinch off the back of one of the offending players. Lorty will try to come forward and continue that pressure away from the blue half. Into the midfield challenges. Bilbo will come forward and again get aggressive against the Vertex side. It's ball out for Rizex one more time. Lorty here to try and receive it off that back ball, leaving it for Bilbo next. Rizex will be able to beat him. So a couple of good responses coming out from Vertex, able to maintain that control. But now it's Oslon with control of his own flick pass. One and a second. And that's why we rate him so high.
Oh, yes, last season. Drop him from Method, but he comes back off his own accord with two fantastic teammates. And that just shows why people want him on their side. Lovely little flick, just out of reach from the two defenders.
Unlucky in this case. Bit too far on the commitments there for the Vertex boys. And now they have 2 goals to recover in under 2 minutes. It's Coca up, Bilbo now here to dribble play alongside Lorty. Backboard play should be taken away by Rizex, no problem. Oslon booms off to the backboard, leaves it for Lorty to try dunk down. This is Oslon's perfect chance to strike. Passes back to Bilbo. The net's open. It's right there. I don't know if that was 300 IQ or 30 IQ. Either way, it's 3 on the board for Underwater Squad.
Bilbo, an absolute banger of a hit. You could see Rizex trying his hardest in the net, but it's not good enough. Like you said, Jay, 3-0 in favor of Underwater Squad. And for me, that is game 1 done. Vertex have got a lot to answer for. Double commits up in the air as well. It's criminal sins at the moment.
The control, the play coming through from the Underwater Squad. Demos in the backline, feeling like that's all that Coca needs to do. A hard graft to try and break out some of the net. Oslon with a demo in on Coca. Look at Domain to the backboard. This is pretty open, but Bilbo does get the touch that he needs to get it out of the way. Still got Coca here towards the corner now. Played off by Lorty. Oslon also in the midfield to receive. Pass back into Bilbo. Great infield receive to the backboard that Coca's going to miss out. And Bilbo still maintains presence and control inside that corner. Lorty also coming forward to challenge. Bilbo still looking for an opportunity here. 2 players miss out. Leaves it for Oslon as he completely misses the ball. All he has to do is hold down the midfield at this stage. 30 seconds still left to go. Vertex got to strike back hard if they want to bring this to evens.
Yeah, and that was really clever there by Oslon, just to slow the play down. Essentially allow time for his teammates to get back. And you can see Underwater Squad not actively looking for a goal here. They just want to run out that clock.
And no worries for them in the back line, just keep them from scoring with just 10 seconds. It's almost an impossibility with Coca and Dumain trying their best to play off each other, but inside the box is where that ball will remain as far as they're concerned. Played away by Oston, Rizek's taking it too high, Dumain's also committed. Bilbo with a clear out to open space, that's on the floor. That's game one, going in the favour of Underwater Squad.
Ooh. And a very convincing one, 3-0. Apart from the last 30 seconds where Vertex essentially went do or die, Jay, it was just all Underwater Squad. Vertex, they got to really pick up that aggression to be, I wouldn't say confident for me in being able to take a couple of games, but even then, we do see them make those over commits. Underwater Squad just didn't want to punish enough because they were just running out the clock.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I mean, again, it looks so confident there from the Underwater Squad with the amount of control they had, the unrelenting aggression as well to the Vertex backboard. Like, they really struggled to break out of their half. This was such a tough graph from them. Underwater Squad always had their number, always was able to challenge very, very well. And again, so much in that orange half, and very quickly we'll get into game two. How much can Vertex have changed up in such a short space of time? We're about to find out. As Coca tries to get things started over here towards the blue side of the court. Demo's in against Oslo. I'm going to try and take away some of the rotating offensive. As Bilbo does get it to the backboard, Lorty is there to try and receive it. But Dumain and Coca off the backboard of their own right. Oslo again able to play it out. Follow-up still coming through here. This ball's pretty dangerous. Bilbo in a position to receive and take it away, though, and tries to see if he can dribble it past at least one here. Dumain able to respond, so a little bit better here from Vertex in the early part of things. The offensive certainly going better for them, but Lorty dribbling back all the same, so you can see the Underwater Squad still got a couple tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, and you could see that slow down play between Bilbo and Lorty earlier when they were getting their way out of the blue end. It was just a shadow play that was forced. Essentially, they're playing their opponents like a field. Like, that pop-over, Bilbo's going to chase up on this and score.
Nice.
Easy peasy, because Underwater Squad are directing. They're dictating the play right now.
Bilbo with the perfect angle. Again, the perfect pop-up, as you say. Ocelon sort of getting involved in a pass up there. Actually, it was on a backboard. So, yeah, I guess it was a pass.
You said it.
Regardless, first on the board there for the Underwater Squad once again. The early minute of things, once again, they hold all the cards. Pinch back, this is perfectly played for Bilbo. As Ocelon has every inch of control, knowing exactly where his teammate's going to be, sets it up at perfect timing, 2-0.
Yeah, such a standard attack. This really comes down to the defenders. A little bit too over-aggressive trying to jump out that ball and get a big clearance from it, but no. They've got to cool their heads off, Vertex and EJ. They always play better when, I wouldn't say they're calm and they're just thinking about the build-ups, where essentially they're dictating passing plays are their bread and butter, and today they're not allowing themselves to have time to communicate and get set up in position for a lot of the plays that succeed for them.
See, even when they're sort of being leveraged to a certain extent, Underwater Squad still hold the majority of presence here in the orange half. Passes up coming through. Bilbo trying to take it out towards that corner with a bit of a dribble play of his own. Pinch back, Lorty and Ocelon in the backfield to be able to deny, but it's still going to come forward for midfield control. And two players coming out of that one are actually going to be able to win out the fights overall. It's Ocelon back inside that box. One player is going to break away as Lorty comes for another good challenge here against Dumain. Also Rizek's here in the corner. Bilbo bounce up. This one's going to get taken high. Demo in from Bilbo might open up a chance available for them. No, apparently not. Coca dribbles it out towards that corner, and again, Lorty and Ocelon forced out of the way as Bilbo tries to go forward with the challenge. Good pop pass back in. Ocelon a little bit late to the party. Tries to control and recover. Backboard plays again. Bilbo set up. He's a bit too far back, though, so not going to happen here for the Underwater Squad.
Yeah, and now finally a good chance for an attack coming out from Vertex. They need to grab boost, which they have on the midfield line, and get their opponent's half, but that clear from Ocelon was a massive, Jay, to be able to just give them a bit of time. They start up an attack of their own. That was with near nothing, and the Underwater Squad still come out golden.
Ocelon with the setup and also recognizing to bump the next man out of the way. I actually didn't even get the touch in against him. My angle was a bit weird, but it looked like he got a bump there from the right-hand side of the net. Regardless, it's a 3-0. Underwater Squad. Same position as they did to win out game number one, and no response so far from the Vertex boys. They have gotten 0 shots onto the blue targets. And Ocelon and Bilbo again playing around each other. Coca trying his best to find something, anything over in this half, and nothing will be seen thus far. Plays in Ocelon to the midfield. Coca and Dumain falling out of position. Following through again, going to pass up the Vertex. This could look good, but it's blocked off once again. And Coca getting close to the marker, but should be cleared away by Bilbo at the very, very edge of the line here. It's Rizex, control again, dribble up against Ostlon. He can block it all the same. Dumain comes forward, bounce out from the corner board, back into the box. Blocked away by Underwater Squad. So confident on their defense thus far.
Oh, Bilbo tried it, of course. Lorty with a follow-up. Not going to be able to get, but that looked a lot better from Vertex, where they are stacking themselves up in the midfield. But Underwater Squad's read and their rotations in defense, Jay, have just been so good. They're covering every angle and just moving at a perfect pace.
Rizex now with his control, flick pass, bump plays. This is Coca finally getting one in, a minute and 20 left to go. There you go. Finally something going right for the Vertex guys.
I still don't like the splash. It's the whisper, Jay. I hate that. I'm not into ASMR. Sorry, dude. I love the explosion, the animation.
Hey, Bacon. Get over it. Get over it, mate. 3-1 on the board. Arsenal and Bilbo getting aggressive. Rizex will try and see if he can take it away all the same here, trying to get back over to that blue half. They're getting a bit of offensive now. This is starting to look a bit dangerous, but a big, big miss from, I believe that was Coca that went up for it. Now Rizex continues his control, dribbles up against the 50-50s coming through. It goes right over to the orange half. It's Dumain. Challenged by Bilbo. Rizex trying to get a challenge in against him, but it's just not going to happen. Not at all right now. Again, the pressure now really mounting up for Underwater Squad, and just like in the last game, all they have to do is waste time, don't even need any goals at this stage, and they'll have game 2 under the wraps.
Yeah, and this is a really lackluster attempt to get our defense coming out from Vertex. Finally, a half-decent hit. But I'm just going to say it now, Underwater Squad have got this locked down. Look at that, such clean passing plays. Just get the ball downfield and then rotate back. Make sure there's a man in defense. Run out the clock.
Deadly accuracy coming through from the Underwater Squad. Vertex looking at they're going to have to concede at this stage with a very awkward touch, a very awkward offensive counter-attack. The timer hits 0, so it will be 2-0 for the series board. Underwater Squad, I mean, we talked about it earlier before the match started about how the potential could certainly show up and how the only teams that they've lost to have been the ones in the top end of the league. So, yeah, now they're coming up against some more, some less staunch competition, I guess you could say. They're really showing us what they can actually do in this tournament.
Yeah, and from the looks of it as well, everyone today is bringing their brooms because this is the possibility to be a second sweep, Jay. ARG, not the only team that looked to get off scot-free, and of course, we get to see the server go down for maintenance, so we're going to have a little bit of a delay, but we get to see Underwater Squad twice today, and I'm going to be interested to see how they face off against Baguette Squad later on, but for now, they've got to continue up this pressure going against Vertex, and for me, they're just one step ahead on everything. They're too clean. It will come down to Vertex causing issues.
Yeah, and that's the one thing they haven't been able to do is just cause many issues at all. You know, they're always challenged and always they're the ones that have the issues right now. They need to try and find a way to turn those issues over to the Underwater Squad because UWS are just having a fantastic time. You know, again, the challenges are looking great. So much pressure as well. Vertex have struggled consistently over the course of this series to deal with the pressure because they're playing so fast and so aggressively. And the passing plays from the midfield back over to that orange half, they are deadly accurate. Towards the end of that match, you saw how deadly it was where Bilbo just got like a laser shot above the crossbar and off the backboard. If that was a second player there, a third player that came forward going for the strike, then that probably would have gone in my opinion. Whether or not that would have happened, I mean, that's a certainly different affair for another day. And we'll never know. We'll unfortunately never know how that would have gone down. But in the end, it's still Underwater Squad sitting up at 2-0 and Vertex, you know, I mean, it's not too surprising for us, but something will need to change if they want to try and turn this series around. It's going to be our second sweep of the day in a row.
Yeah, and I'm liking the ideas that Coca's bringing. We just saw the players from Underwater Squad get straight in the server, and we're probably going to have to go for another remake because they weren't waiting.
All right. It's a one-goal mutator to make sure. Don't worry.
That. We're safe. We got to check them servers. But yeah, essentially, Coca's got the right idea in that he wants to get into his opponent's back end, demo them, bump them about, whilst his teammates are starting to set up attacks. The problem is that his two teammates in Rizex and Dumain aren't expecting that. essentially they're not on the wavelength. There's two strategies for this team going on at the same time, and that just means that they're disjointed. They're not cohesive, and so everything's just falling apart for them. They can just come up with one strat together, you know, get a bit of synchronization to them. They could turn this around. I mean, reverse sweeps, they're more common than what you'd think in Rocket League. Don't get me wrong, they're still rare, but it's still a possibility for this Vertex side.
So do we realistically expect that, though? Do we realistically expect them to be able to do that?
Flawless today. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be damage put to the Underwater Squad side and the whole of Vertex being able to do that. Because at the moment, it is only Coca putting the damage in. Rizzex and Domain a little bit too reserved on the midfield line.
Well, they've been given very few opportunities to be able to get their opportunity, to be able to get anything on the board really for the part of Vertex. So time's going to change and things going to change. We're ready to get into game number 3 now. The server is back and Vertex will again be on the orange side with Underwater Squad on the blue. In case you're just joining us, so you know exactly where the boys are playing at. A lot of work needs to be done, however, for Vertex. Full reverse sweep territory, and they need to start with this game. It's the ball out to the orange half. Look at the passing plays once again coming through from Bilbo and Ocelon. Within 10 seconds, they strike first.
Magnifique, that one. Ocelon right into the top left. The pass, beautiful setup there from Bilbo, but Ocelon with that pinpoint accuracy, you couldn't get any closer to the woodwork with it staying in.
Ocelon and Bilbo have been the main strikers so far in this game for the Underwater Squad. Like, they're proving exactly why we've rated them so highly for the past year. So many great chances. Look at Lorty with his own control, flicks past to Coca. Just able to get back in time, but Bilbo still contesting alongside Ocelon in the back. That shot's actually close to the target. It would have bounced off that post. Defended and cleared away by a Vertex member. It's Lorty up and over. Bilbo into the midfield, going to get forced back alongside Ocelon here. It's finally a bit of pressure starts to go the way of Vertex. Bumps will come through, but it needs some good shots as Coca goes up with the dribble players. One man to try and make it happen off the backboard. Domain challenged by Lorty, though.
Yeah, you talk about the pressure being applied, but it's still a tiny bit too slow. Brilliant demo coming through. And Lorty near enough securing that one for Ocelon. This is such a good team play.
Passing plays, demo plays, bump plays, whatever plays you want. They've got the team style to make this work. This is a seriously dangerous threat we have to consider as well going forward for some of the other teams. Like, even Discombobulators, I believe they've still got to face up against them. Still have a hell of a task ahead of them. That was very impressive once again from Ocelon with the dribble plays. Bilbo there to support it. And there you go.
Do Underwater Squad have places to be or something? Because they're looking to get this done in a sweep and pretty damn fast. Like, 1 minute and 7 seconds in, already 3-0 up. This is unprecedented at this level. And Jay, for me, Underwater Squad should be the bar to set for RLRS teams. Naturally, I'm not saying they're the top teams in RLRS, but they are that middle ground. They are, if you want to stay up, you have to be this good.
It looks like certainly Vertex might not be staying up today. They are looking to get put down very quickly here by the Underwater Squad. 3-0, still 3 minutes to go to find some serious counter-attacks, some ridiculous plays to try and shut down their opposition in the Underwater Squad. Lorty takes it over to that midfield. It's Bilbo also going up alongside Ocelon. Big miss from his part. Bilbo bounce up and over inside that box. That one is a pretty dangerous affair. Could have been an awkward 50-50 that led to the goal, but not to be. The defensive holds. Lorty with a breakaway. Now here against the dribble play for Coca. I think this one off the backboard will challenge against him. And all in all, it will be the defensive from Vertex holding straight.
Only just holding on. The dribble here is just pretty much thrown the ball away. Lorty, nice little lofty hit there. But it's such a night and day difference between the two sides. Finally, a good little bit of pressure coming out from Rizzex, but Coca can't continue on with the hit. That, though, so good. Finally, a nice heads-up play coming out from Vertex.
Finally, as you say, you know, good block from Ocelon, but in the end, it is Domain to finish it off.
It's the initial pass.
Indeed, yes. Something looking a little bit more like the the opposing force. Looking a little bit more like what Underwater Squad would do in their offensive plays. Very quickly off the kickoff, they'll try and get the offensive going once again. Ball off that backboard, Vertex can't defend against it. Oslo will get challenged by Coca, so no worries for them at this stage. As Bilbo goes up and over here off the aerial ceiling. It's Lorty missing out against Coca, so overall he wins it. Oslo with a bit of a big whiff there. That could be very open, but Bilbo does get back in time. Starting to look a little bit shaky, actually. I'm a little bit concerned about how the rest of this one might go. Underwater Squad got to try and readjust to try and patch up a couple of those holes, because also that could be a couple of decent goals in for the Vertex boys.
Yeah, it's looking like Underwater Squad have got a little bit complacent. Hopefully, it's not for long, because that drop down, that was textbook from Vertex. Brilliant little setup by Dumain.
Well, we talked about it. That's a second. Potentially a bit more of a stance being held out by the Vertex squad. Just within one of equalizing against the lead of Underwater Squad. 1 minute and 46 seconds to do so. As Dumain comes forward and gets that one out towards that blue half immediately. It's Oslo still with great dribble plays. And Rizex moving back over here off to the backboard. 100 boost picked up from the corner of the blue half. Dumain will come forward to try and support it. A lot of missed touches coming out from Underwater Squad. Now this is very concerning, especially as Coca gets booming, clears over to the blue net. Just about defended again by Oslo. Bilbo will come forward, boom that one directly close to the orange net. Oslo can't follow up, but Lorty will be able to respond, taking that one up high. Rizex is again able to receive. And they are holding their own here. Vertex starting to pick up the pace here against their opponents.
Good little bump as well. Lorty just throwing it away, wanted the pop. Not getting the control. Good demo coming in from him, though. And I'm starting to really like this right now, Jay, where they've gone from being more tactical.
Oh, Salon.
I was about to say, from going from tactical to just physical, and then this, that's technical. Brilliant zero anger shot from Oslo.
55 on the clock, and the 2-goal lead has been reinstated for the Underwater Squad. A lot of work for Vertex to do now, and a whole lot more pressure applied to their hopes. As Bilbo goes up, Oslo tries to receive. Great redirect that Dumain is able to receive. Just might defend against because it was a little bit of a light touch. Regardless, back to the center line, it's Coca going up and over. Oslo trying to push it out of the way. Can't get that 100 boost. Coca steals it. Bilbo comes forward, but he was of his own right. Setting up Coca again. Great plays in from Rizex. Coca gets that strike, but Lorty is able to defend against it. Dumain also going in for 50-50s of his own right. Gonna block off any opportunity right now for Vertex. They got 20 seconds to score one and kick off for the second, and Bilbo and Lorty try to strike right back. Barely defended by Dumain. And Ocelon gets the 5th in as the 3rd man, the 3rd unit to the Underwater Squad play. 5-2, 13 seconds. It's looking like this one might be over.
And that's the 4th goal for Oslo in this game. You were talking earlier about how Bilbo and Oslo are massive striking forces for this squad. Yes, Lorty just sits back. He's more of a defender and he sets up quite a bit. But those two in tandem, Bilbo with 3 assists as well. This is a squad that requires those passing plays, requires the setup between them, requires recognition, because that puts them up 2-3 and the start, I think, of the climb back and the progression to stay up in RORS for next season.
Big stuff coming out from the Underwater Squad. That will be their 2nd series victory, as you say. And again, kind of proving exactly what we wanted to see out of these boys. The potential not to beat out some of the other teams now in the rival series. Shout out Jams. I've been sitting from the sidelines watching on, my man. Anything special you saw in that one?
Just like you said, Vertex seemingly all received different strategy plans for this match day. Everyone was playing their own game, and well, somewhere midway through every single one of these matches, they tried to figure out something. It was always a little bit too late. You could see that Underwater Squad had clear ideas for set plays. Man, and some of the plays were just absolutely fantastic. Let me just mention that Aslan back pass to Bilbo in game number 1. I'd say that was inspired. That was no surprise, no luck. That was just absolutely magnificent from him. And when Lottie beats all of the Vertex squad in the 3rd game to get that pass to Aslan, just showed the difference. And unfortunately, I would have to concede. I was thinking that perhaps Team Vertex can continue their role. But despite them surprising everyone with their wins against Flumperzon and Methods, it seems that their run was just stopped by none other than Underwater Squad, the fellow team that's also fighting relegation. And now I'd say that Underwater Squad are in a much better position to continue their run.
They definitely are, and like I said, they've got those games in hand, so they're now sitting at 2-3, so it puts them ahead of Vertex just for those 2 games, and of course the goal differential. I think they're on game differential. Sorry, they're on -2 compared to Vertex's now -7. But again, they get a win, they should be able to push themselves up into that 6th, maybe even 5th territory, because it is against Baguette Squad, so a win in certain ways with game differential could pop them ahead. Definitely today is the redemption story for Underwater Squad, and for me, just purely for the story aspect of it, it's what you love to see, isn't it, on stream?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, this is something that's like, it's such like a perfect storm, you know, like a very poor couple of weeks, even though it was against some of the best teams in the league. But now they're going to start turning it around with a couple of victories going on their board, looking really confident doing so as well. It is like the ultimate shonen. The question is, how far up the rankings can they make it? Will they only go to 5th, 6th, or will they be able to make top 4 and try and go for promotion? We'll have to find out specifically where they are, and we do just get to see them a little bit later on during the day as well. So I'm excited to see whether they can replicate the performance they've just shown.
Well, 2 down, 2 more to go. When we come back, Team Echo Zulu team in the last place in the standings will be fighting against Flumperzon team. That isn't as good position as you get in first. Do not go anywhere. Rival Series B stream will continue after these messages.